Welcome back to the deep dive. I had this moment this morning. It really sums up what we're diving into today. I was trying to find my way around Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
and I swear those streets are just designed to make you lost. All those, like, wild diagonals.
Right, the l'enfant plan.
Turns out, yeah, they were originally planned to mess with invading armies. Well, guess what, D.C.?
Working.
Still working,
Yeah.
still messing with locals like me.
Yeah.
And that feeling, navigating complexity, whether it's city streets or the world of artificial intelligence, it just perfectly tees up our deep dive today. So our mission here is to unpack some honestly fascinating insights from our sources about how AI is shifting.
Shifting how?
Well, beyond just being a tool, it's becoming more like a strategic partner. And what does that mean for how we interact with these digital things? How we even maybe raise them?
Raise them. Interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to explore some really practical applications, scalable business models that are already out there making waves, and crucially, the human element. Because that's still at the heart of it all, isn't it, in this whole fast-moving landscape?
Absolutely. And what's really compelling, I think, is how this deep dive will show you how different bits of information in the AI space, they're not separate. They actually connect. So hopefully you'll get a better sense, not just of what's happening with AI, but why it actually matters to you.
Exactly.
We're looking at the real implications here.
Yeah.
And how you might apply some of this stuff.
Okay, so let's dig into that first idea then. AI as a strategic partner, because like you said, it's already happening, and in ways that are, frankly, transforming businesses. Our sources had this amazing example.
Go on.
Imagine taking recordings of client meetings, those long transcripts.
Again stuff.
Right. Feed them into an AI. And in minutes, literally minutes, you get back full-blown, actionable strategic plans. Stuff that would normally take a team, a week?
Of
A week of intense work, right? Synthesizing, drafting.
All that back and forth.
Yeah, condensed into moments. And what's really insightful here, it's not just the speed, it's that the client, they didn't even know AI was involved. They just saw the value, the precision, the, immediate usefulness.
That's a really critical point. We are seeing this profound shift, AI moving beyond just like simple automation or number crunching. It's becoming a real sophisticated collaborator. But for AI to really work in that strategic role, it's not just about processing power or having lots of data. Our sources really stress this. It needs to be trained with something like, emotional intelligence, clear intent, strategic structure.
Okay, hold on. Emotional intelligence for AI. That definitely caught my eye. What does that actually mean? Like, for a machine, are we saying AI is going to start feeling things?
No, not at all. Good question, though. When our sources talk about emotional intelligence for AI, they don't mean it'll feel sad or happy like us. It's more about training the AI to detect and interpret human emotional cues.
Cues like?
Like the sentiment in text messages, maybe the tone of voice in a recording, or even patterns in how someone behaves online.
Okay. Pattern recognition.
Exactly. The goal is for the AI to respond in a way that's, appropriate for the context, maybe even a bit empathetic in its response.
So it understands the vibe, not just the words.
Pretty much. It helps the AI grasp what a user really needs or intends, way beyond just the literal commands, makes the whole interaction more meaningful, more effective.
Right. And that leads into this other really interesting concept, the digital twin. One of our sources talked about building their own personal AI model, and they did it by basically giving it a detailed bio. Like, it knows where you're from, what you've done, what you care about, your whole context, really. Professional, personal, everything.
So it's like a digital mirror image.
Exactly. A living digital reflection. And the analogy they used was fascinating, raising it like a kid.
Raising it.
Yeah, think about that. We're not just using AI anymore. We're actively shaping it, participating in its development, raising it with our data, our interactions.
That really does raise a big question for you, the listener, doesn't it?
Heck yeah.
What are the sort of deeper implications of having this new kind of relationship with tech?
What's fascinating is how it shifts things. We move from just consuming technology to active stewardship.
Stewardship, yeah, I like that.
If you're building a digital twin, you're investing in it, in its growth, its skills, making sure it aligns exactly with your goals, your work.
Tailoring it.
Completely. Designing an AI to understand your unique world.
Right.
Your priorities, even the subtle stuff, your preferences. It becomes this truly bespoke, powerful extension of you. So that's a huge shift from just being a user. We're becoming mentors to our machines in a way.
Mentors to our machines,
Yeah.
wow.
So pivoting from that idea of raising AI, Our sources sketch out this really compelling future vision. We're basically on the edge of a whole new kind of service, enabled by these, highly trained models, emotionally intelligent digital agents. Okay, so like specialized AI helpers.
Exactly. Imagine having these specialized AI models, each with a unique strength,
Hmm.
like a virtual team of consultants. For example, maybe there's a Charles agent. It's built specifically for strategic planning, draws on tons of business cases, tactical frameworks,
Got it.
or maybe a Xena agent, finely tuned for insight, pattern recognition, predictive analysis, that sort of thing, and say a Bakunzi agent for optimizing complex systems and workflows.
So these aren't just like general purpose chatbots then. What makes them so distinct? Is it the way they're built, different architectures or something?
Precisely. Our sources suggest these aren't generic AIs at all. They're specialized, probably trained on massive, very specific data sets for their domain.
Makes sense.
So that Charles agent for strategy, it might be loaded with strategic frameworks, historical business cases, market analysis, all that stuff. So it excels at planning. The Xena agent for insights, focused on complex patterns, maybe using data science, behavioral economics, to find those hidden nuggets. And the Bakunzi agent for systems, optimized for workflow design, automation, drawing on engineering principles, operational efficiency. It's all about deep expertise, but in a really narrow, really valuable area.
And the user experience, it sounds pretty revolutionary. Like clients could have their own personal AI coach or strategist or just a sounding board there for you 24/7.
Always on.
Like having an expert just on standby, ready to help you think through complex stuff, even things with, big personal stakes. The sources had this perfect phrase for it. It's like their emotional math advisor in the cloud.
That does stick with you.
Right. Emotional math advisor. It's not just data crunching. It's about guidance that actually gets your goals, your context, helps you process tricky information in a more well-balanced way.
And from a business angle, the key thing here is how scalable this is. Clients would likely pay a subscription, right, for this specialized access, for these tailored AI agents.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which makes the whole model highly scalable for the creators, the developers. Because once you've built and trained that core agent,
replicating access is easy.
pretty much minimal extra human effort to serve thousands of users.
Yeah.
So you're not just selling a one-off thing. You're offering continuous intelligence support that can grow with the client's needs asynchronously, globally. It's a powerful model.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth a bit. What does all this mean for someone maybe listening right now who's thinking about launching a business or just wants to streamline their own operations? How do these sort of cutting edge ideas translate into like real world tools today, especially if you're trying to build your own thing, your own lane? Well, speaking of streamlining and finding efficient solutions, our sources had this interesting little story about dealing with the high costs of, traditional online services. Like imagine paying hundreds of dollars a year just for basic website hosting, which a lot of small businesses or solo creators definitely face.
Oh yeah, that's a common pain point.
Yeah.
Good services, but they get bogged down by these legacy costs. And that's exactly where these new AI-enabled solutions are shaking things up.
Yeah.
Our sources point to these emerging platforms. They use AI to offer like the full package.
Right.
Website build, hosting, customer service, ongoing support.
The works.
Yeah, the works. And with an incredibly fast turnaround, often under a week.
Under a week. Wow.
And here's the kicker. They do it all for way less than those traditional services cost. It just shows how AI-powered automation is making a professional online presence much more accessible, radically undercutting the old ways by being just smarter, more efficient, better integrated.
And building on that idea, there's this real sense of excitement around new tools, new offerings, and some are timing their launches very deliberately to connect with themes of personal empowerment.
How so?
Well, one source mentioned an upcoming launch plan right around Independence Day, which feels pretty symbolic, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Tying into liberation, financial independence, creative freedom, giving people the power to take control of their digital identity, their business ventures.
Precisely. The goal is empowerment. And the sources actually talked about the dopamine hit that comes with that. Imagine being able to, quote, build your own brand, your own site, your own lane.
Yeah.
All for a really democratic price point. Something like, say, $149.99. This links right back to AI enabling access, AI-powered templates, smart content generators, automated back-end stuff. It's making it possible for anyone to create a sophisticated digital presence, stuff that used to need serious tech skills or a lot of cash.
And it's not just about websites, is it? It feels like a broader philosophy running through everything we looked at. It keeps coming back to that powerful theme: save a problem once really well and then license the blueprint.
Right, the McKinsey model approach.
Exactly. You invest up front to create this robust solution for a common pain point. Then you make that solution accessible, repeatable, for tons of others, which allows for incredible efficiency, incredible scale. Now, while we're talking about all these powerful digital tools and systems, it's so important to remember the human element. Actually, this week, I'm prepping a presentation myself for the Instructional Design Academy
Oh, yeah.
on how emotional intelligence enhances training design.
Ah, perfect timing.
Right. It's just a fundamental reminder. It's not just about the content you push out or the facts. It's really about connection, understanding the learner, designing for actual human engagement.
And that connects so directly back to what we were saying about raising AI, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you build with intention, when you really understand how people learn, how they interact, what drives them, even their emotional responses, you end up building something that just feels more human, more intuitive.
Yeah, it goes beyond just functionality.
Totally.
Yeah.
It creates a better experience.
Yeah.
Whether that's in a training module or talking to an AI agent. If you anticipate what the user needs, provide support proactively, make the conversation flow naturally, that intentional design really elevates the whole thing.
And thinking even bigger, applying this idea, intention,
Yeah.
solving specific pain points. Our sources talk about exploring AI agents for government contracts.
Ooh, interesting area.
Think about it, right? A huge organization like a government agency, they must have countless processes that are repetitive, maybe manual.
Definitely. Bureaucracy loves repetition.
So things like automated billing systems or super efficient candidate screeners for hiring, optimized HR workflows. These are all concrete pain points, things you could potentially solve with smart AI agents. And that frees up the humans for the really complex stuff, the nuanced work that needs actual judgment.
That's the McKinsey model again, isn't it? But applied to a specific high-impact area. Solve it once, license the blueprint.
Exactly.
And the goal there, as the sources point out, isn't necessarily about landing one massive multi-million-dollar government contract every single time.
Yeah.
It's more about creating one working solution and a repeatable pattern.
Build the engine first.
Right. And sources say these stock agents, basically modular, adaptable AI solutions, are already being built. The next step is niching them down for specific areas, like those emotional math advisors we mentioned, or agents designed just for certain government workflows, or those simple small biz websites. They're designed to be customizable, easy to deploy for similar problems elsewhere.
It's definitely clear this whole AI space is getting incredibly crowded, which leads us to a really key takeaway from the sources: the strategy for success. It probably isn't trying to do everything at once.
No, definitely not. Boiling the ocean.
Right. It's more like pick a platform, really master it, and stay focused. Our sources mentioned some powerful ones, obviously VO, Gemini, ChatGPT, but there is this particular emphasis on really digging into Google Workspace.
Yeah, and for good reason, I think. What's fascinating about Google's strategy there, it's the long game. They're not always the flashiest player in the AI news cycle, maybe, but they are absolutely playing to win the marathon, not just the sprint.
How so?
Well, think about it. They already own YouTube. They own just vast amounts of our data, for better or worse. And crucially, their integrations across their whole ecosystem. Gmail, Docs, Meet, Calendar. It's incredibly tight.
Yeah, it all works together pretty seamlessly.
And that gives them this huge, sometimes overlooked, advantage in the AI race. A smooth user experience backed by massive data insights, which means better model training.
So they're building on a really solid foundation.
Exactly. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, the state of AI right now, it reminds me a bit of early Formula One.
Formula One? How?
Well, back in the day, maybe the cars looked kind of similar at first glance. But it took decades, right? Decades of relentless refinement, tiny improvements, fierce competition, for them to become the highly optimized, almost identical-looking machines you see today. Each one just a peak of engineering.
Ah, I see where you're going.
We're really just at the start of that race with AI. The basic tech is there, sure, but the real refinement, the specialization, the seamless integration into our lives, that's just starting. It's a long race, and we're still in the early laps.
That's a great analogy. So, okay, what does all this mean for you, the listener, as you're navigating your own choices in this landscape that's changing so fast? How do you pick your lane? Master your tools. Stay focused when there's so much noise, so much innovation happening all at once.
Well, I think at the end of the day, what our deep dive really shows is this isn't about AI hype. It's not about just grabbing the latest shiny tool. It's fundamentally about aligning tools with purpose.
Hmm.
The core questions you need to ask yourself, they're the same, really. Regardless of the tech, what problem are you actually trying to solve? What story are you trying to tell?
Yeah. And once you really figure that out, once you're clear on your purpose,
Yeah.
then the technology, it just becomes another teammate, a powerful one, a responsive one that's always on.
Right.
It's there to amplify your intent, not dictate it. It's about making your purpose more impactful. So building on that idea we picked up from the sources, raising AI with love, or maybe just with real intentionality. I want to leave you with this thought to chew on. Consider how that principal intentionality, maybe even emotional intelligence, how applying that not just to AI, but to any tool or system you create or use, how it can profoundly shape its impact and your relationship with it.
Yeah.
Think about the legacy you're building, not just with technology, but maybe through it. How can you infuse your digital work, your business, your projects with real purpose, with genuine connection,